Chimers. It's been
Why are you always laughing at me when I say, hey?
He always laughs, don't you know, Steph?
Because it's like a,
in the background.
it's like a child when you give him a toy. Yay! Yay!
And young at heart. And that is a nice segue to this evening's podcast.
Yes, good one, yes.
Young at heart. Wow, she's on fire. That's a good start. How are you, ladies?
We're good.
Good.
This is going to be a special one.
Yes,
Yes.
it's going to be a really fun episode.
Yes.
We always have fun.
Yes.
So for today's podcast, we have truly Kidtabulous here. Yes, so she's here.
Welcome.
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 Hello.
And it's going to be a fun podcast. And it's going to be very exciting to talk about what you do in the wedding industry.
So basically, we should definitely give people an idea of
Yes.
what
Yep.
the company
Yes.
is all about. And that is babysitting services, I
Yes.
guess, or taking care of children during weddings.
Yes.
Do you specialize in weddings? Like,
We do weddings, we do baby showers, baptisms,
Oh, wow, all of it.
conferences,
Okay.
So big
workshops.
parties.
Oh, so
basically.
events.
I
yeah,
love that.
any
Okay.
party that's like adult focused, but kids might be around
Oh,
or kids
okay.
could be there. We take care of the
Fantastic.
kids so everyone could have a good time and the kids have a little party of
Their
their
own.
own.
I was gonna
See,
say-
Vanny, when you're unruly,
yeah.
You come to the kids.
you come to the kids section to play
I
some
love
Play-Doh.
that.
How come I'm always in trouble? I don't know.
Odd man out.
It's really cool. I mean, sorry, guys, ladies, I'm jumping
all
in here
good.
because it's a lot of fun. I'm present at a lot of weddings, and it's a new trend now, the no kids thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a thing that I'm not a fan of. If you've watched Wedding Chimes with
Yeah,
Val,
we spoke
I
about
feel
it. Yeah.
just because one of my best friends got married a long time ago. I was in the bridal party and my son was just born, and I was angry because it caused so much heartache on my family, and I would never want to put that on anybody. Like it was like heartache for no reason. Like I can't have my kids there. We had to find the sitter, and then how to we're breastfeeding. My wife had to leave super early, but I was in the bridal party, so I stayed late alone. Because she had to go home. It was like, why?
Yeah.
What? How bad can it be having kids at the party? Like, what is it? Like, again, that's just my view.
Yeah.
I get it, and I don't want to push my view across, but I think it's a fabulous idea.
Yeah, I love the
That
idea.
That if they're busy, not running around, then it kills all the any negative that would have.
It kills the energy,
kills
the
the energy.
positive
It's a
behind the
fun-
event.
It's a fun,
Yeah.
wedding is for everyone, just my opinion here. I just find that I've done many weddings that the kids were there and it was okay.
Yeah.
The kids were fine. They were occupied doing their thing, and
Yeah.
with like a service like yours, it's a great thing to
It's
have.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's a genius.
It's
It's,
amazing.
genius. Trust me. The amount of times I wish there was a sitter or like the kids running
Something.
wild, but as I feel bad too because there's always a family member that's delegated
Watching
as
the
the
kids, yeah.
babysitter, and the poor family members like in a dress heels playing babysitter.
Yeah.
Instead, when they have a service like you show up, do your thing, take care of it.
And
you
that
know.
family member can have a drink,
Yeah,
eat their
relax.
meal.
Exactly. Because
Go on the dance
I
floor,
always
yeah.
feel bad. There's always that one person designated. It's like, and I'm like, how did they get roped into that? How? I need to know how because they're stuck. And I feel bad because I'm like, they're watching like 20 kids. At one point, I'm like, before I knew about your service though, mind you, this was way before when I just started my wedding planning career. It was a big wedding thing, like 200 people, and again, I didn't know better, didn't know your service existed, still new in the industry, my mistake. And I told the bride, I'm like, who's gonna watch the kids? Like there's 20 children running, and all like different age groups, not like babies here, it's like different age groups. She's like, oh, my aunt. I'm like, your aunt in a dress and heels gonna play babysitter for 20 children at a wedding when she might need to be present, for pictures, ceremony, all that stuff. She's like, yeah, she'll be fine. I'm like, okay.
And how did that go?
It was a disaster.
14 drinks later.
It was hard. My heart went out to her. I wanted to help. I felt so bad, but I couldn't because I'm not the babysitter. I'm the planner. And I felt so bad for the aunt. Like we had the kids in a separate room, so there's like the main room, and then in the side room we had the kids, toys, whatever you name it. But again, they didn't come prepared, like you said. Like they're not equipped for 20 kids, so they got them random stuff from the dollar store, like I don't know what, just dumped it there.
Yeah.
And the kids were
and
running
after 10
wild.
minutes,
Yeah.
they're done.
And guess what? The kids came marching back because they were bored. So you see like a line, literally a line coming back from the room, and I'm like, what's happening? Who's watching them?
Yeah.
So at one point, no one watched them. it was just like a free for all.
Yeah.
And it was bad. Like at one point during the dance, the first dance, like when it's supposed to be like a moment,
Yeah.
you hear a fiasco,
running around,
and I
yeah.
felt awful. But again, I told her, make sure you have, and I even said, have a babysitter come. Do you know a babysitter? Like, don't just go in with your aunt delegating, you know?
So
She
that's
decided.
very
Yes,
important.
yeah.
So that being said, we would really like for you to introduce yourself,
Yes.
your company, and how you came about with this amazing
The
idea.
idea, yes.
Yes. So my name is Ayata. And the company is Kidtabulous Event Childcare
Okay.
and Entertainment. So we take care of the kids at the event. It's a mobile service, so wherever the event is, we
Love
go
that.
there to take care of the kids. And also, if the kids are at the Airbnb or at the hotel,
okay,
we
so-
have
okay,
babysitters
nice.
that will go and watch the
Perfect.
kids there.
Okay.
So we have childcare services, which would be the room like you're talking
Yeah.
about, but we would bring a lot more stuff.
I love
and have
that.
a
Okay.
few more people for 20 kids that would really take care of the kids in the room.
Perfect.
Entertain the kids, like different stations that they can play
Oh,
at,
I like
activities
that,
that we
okay.
do with the kids, and the parents sign them in with us so that security is there as well.
Smart. Okay.
So that,
I was gonna say
yeah,
yes.
the parents are not worried about if the kids are running out of the room.
Everyone's
If
signed
there's a
in
childcare
basically.
room, yeah, the
Okay,
parents sign
smart.
them in, and they also give us the important information. So if they're eating with us, then we're gonna know who has allergies.
I was gonna say yes.
Yeah,
especially
the
with
different
kids,
ages
yeah.
of the kids.
I love
that
that.
helps us
Yeah.
too, because different ages, some of them are not able to, tell you
It's true.
what they're allergic to.
Very true.
So that's one of the service. Event babysitters. So during the event, if there's a couple of kids that they want someone to keep an eye on and play with, or
Okay.
a little baby or a toddler that a parent needs support with,
Okay.
we offer that service as
Okay, I
well.
love that. Okay.
And children's activities. So sometimes, including the kids table and the kids corner. So sometimes the couple or the event organizers, they just want a space where the kids can play. So it's a family-friendly event, it's a child-friendly event, but they
Okay.
want somewhere where the kids can go and play, and they're still a part of the event,
Not just
as opposed
not
to
like on they're
yeah, as
included
opposed
in
to the
it, yeah.
childcare room where they're separate in another room, and we're really providing childcare, and they're with us unless the parent comes to get us or gives them permission to go. So the kids corner or the kids table is the option where if you're having a family-friendly event, kid-friendly event, we set up a space or a table with activities
Cool,
and
okay.
things and tabletop toys, and when it's a wedding, mess-free, obviously.
I was gonna say you need something
Yeah.
that's safe and not
Exactly, that the kids can play with
Safely.
during the reception
Yeah.
or during the event. So they're still a part of the event,
Yeah.
a part of the party, but they have a space for them to come and get that energy out,
Cool.
to come and play, and their parents can still see them in the same room. They can still see their parents in the same room. So that's an option sometimes
I love
that's
that.
a better fit. And we do like custom activities too. So for certain, sometimes corporate events or even weddings, if they just want an hour or two of like the kids being busy doing an activity.
Okay, so you have
then we-
different. How long do you typically stay? Like, what's your max? Do you stay until till the midnight, like 10? Like what typically?
There isn't necessarily a max in the sense that, if someone wants to book us, so sometimes like if, for example, they want movie night or like the childcare room, but more of a sleeping room. So a room where there's a sitter there for when
Okay.
the kids are ready to sleep, and we set up the room
Okay, I
for
like
that,
that,
so that
okay.
there's somebody there so the kids can go to sleep and the parents can stay longer
I was gonna say, 'cause
instead of having to
sometimes-
leave.
Because sometimes,
So-
weddings, they have a kid and it's close to bedtime and they have to leave
So they
the
have
party.
to leave
yeah.
to put them to bed. So we can solve that problem.
That's good to know too.
So
okay.
the parents can stay longer. They can even come in the room, put their little ones to sleep if they want to. So once they're down
Yeah.
and sleeping, they can go back to the party.
Okay.
And we have the little kids mats as well if they need that too. So
Okay.
set up the room so it's comfortable for the little ones.
Of course.
So in terms of a latest time, there isn't necessarily a latest time. Like we can be booked until 2 a.m.,
Oh,
whatever.
wow. Okay. Good to know.
Depending on what they need. And so it kind of depends on what the needs are and what they're looking for.
Right.
So there isn't really like a max time. There's a minimum time that
Okay,
we,
okay.
we book,
Okay.
but not necessarily a max time. And we usually speak with the couple or the
Of
planner
course, yeah.
and try to get an idea of what it is they really want in terms of their vision for even the whole wedding, but for the parents and the kids, like, do they want the kids to be a part of the event? Do they really want a few hours of no kids to give the parents a break?
So like really,
do they,
okay.
Yeah, so they can, so that's why I say to couples and planners too, even if it's a no kids allowed wedding, which is becoming more and more
popular,
sad,
my
popular,
gosh,
like
yeah.
we can still help with that. So if a couple wants to have no kids at the reception, if there's a room available, we can basically, we'll be the childcare service that's taking care of the kids while the parents are at the reception.
Okay.
And that way all of the parents don't necessarily have to find a sitter for the night.
Say,
Yeah,
you
they have that
offer
service.
for
They have that service right
guests.
there that we take care of the kids who need it.
Okay.
And then when the parents are ready to go, they just come pick them up
Okay.
and go. Yeah.
So in terms of the sitters, how do you select your sitters?
Good question.
Yeah, so that's a very important part of everybody feeling comfortable with leaving their kids.
Yeah, we're not going to
Yeah.
have like Joe John down the streets, yeah.
No, definitely not. So the sitters all have experience working with kids,
Perfect.
childcare, working in camp, working with little ones, babysitting for a few years. And they all have their first aid and they all get a background check
Of course.
to work the events. And usually they do, there's a bit of a trial period, so they do
Of
a
course.
few events so
Okay.
that we can see if it's a good fit for,
Right, so you have to-
how we work with the children
Right.
and how we interact with the children, and if, it's a good fit for them and for
Right.
how we do things, and if it works out. So that's usually how the selection process is. Make sure that those things are met and meet with the animators, and then if it seems like it would be a good fit, then they work a few events, and then I really see if they're the type of animator, the type of
course.
wedding babysitter that
I was gonna-
I would feel comfortable leaving my
Leaving your
children with,
kids,
that,
I was gonna say,
same similar like values and approach to working with kids.
Cool.
Yeah. So is each event, do you approach it the same way, or is it really based on what the event is? A baptism, a corporate event, a wedding is the same, I guess, scheme or same organized pattern used for each of these events, let's say, or do you change it up depending?
Change it up depending, and I say that to say more in the sense of what is the service that best fits that event.
Okay.
Okay.
So, so if there could be two weddings, and one could be, a family-friendly wedding, and there's 15 kids,
Gotcha.
and so that's going to look differently than a wedding where there's 5 or 6 kids, but they want to have, a kids-free reception, or they want to have, let's say, after 8. We want the kids to be taken care
really,
of.
Okay.
Yeah, and for you to take care of the kid, do activities with the kids,
Right.
maybe do a movie or whatever,
Oh,
and then
I like
at some
that.
point
Okay.
they can kind
if
of
I was a
wind
kid, I wouldn't
down.
complain. Movie night, you name it. I'd be like, I'm in.
Exactly.
I wish that was around when I was a kid. You know how many weddings I was dragged to that I didn't
Yeah.
want, like,
I don't
didn't
even
want
know
to
them.
go.
They're small.
Like, I was like, sorry to cut you off, but the only wedding I remember I had a good time was my cousin's wedding. I wasn't a kid, but I was old enough, but I was still, I think, like 12, 13, I think. And she actually got us things to do, like,
Yeah.
age appropriate. Like, we had a ice spy in the reception room, like, to do,
Yes.
like, old enough, but that wedding was smartly planned for the younger
Yes.
attendees. But when I was a kid, this service didn't exist. I wish, how do I wish? How do
Yeah,
I
it would have
wish
been more
that-
fun for you. Yeah, and that's what I say too, and realize too that a lot of couples probably don't realize until it's too late, or if they don't have
Yeah.
their own kids, that even a little bit of the consideration for the kids
Yeah.
makes a big
Yeah.
difference. Meaning, like, just a little bag with, like,
Yeah.
you can put some coloring pages in there,
Right.
some crayons, maybe a few glow sticks if they're like 5, 6 and up,
Right,
so they
right,
can make
right.
some bracelets. Maybe some stickers, a little, paper to make a card, and
Okay.
you'd be surprised how far that goes to, like, help the kids to have a
Right.
little bit more fun.
And not just on their iPad or phone or
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
you're,
give them a Rubik's
glowing-
Cube.
Yeah,
All night.
Yeah.
You know how many weddings I've seen that they give the iPad and it's like they're
Yeah.
plugged. It's like I get it, but you see a glowing face just walking around. I'm like, oh, what's that? The amount of times I'm like, what's that walking that's glowing? It's like a little kid with the
With the
iPad bigger
iPad,
than
yeah.
their face.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, you know.
And there is an alternative,
Yeah.
and it's just as fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, yeah.
Well,
that's for
also
sure.
kids, you know, it's not fun for kids really when you think about they have to dress up in this stupid
Dress or
walk
yeah,
a certain
suit,
way,
yeah.
walk in a certain way.
It's
Don't
true,
watch
yeah.
this. Watch there's someone always
Sit down, eat, don't
you know,
move, you know,
right?
it's
Yeah,
like
and they're also running around like it's you know it's 100 miles an hour the
Yeah.
whole way. You're running around all over the place,
Yeah.
climbing chairs, getting on the dance floor,
Oh
going
my
to the
gosh,
stage.
yeah,
You're just
it's
going
true,
Until
yeah.
they crash.
until they crash.
until they, yeah. But I mean, with this service, you know, they will actually look forward to a
Yeah.
wedding.
Yeah.
They'll be
Oh,
excited.
I'm gonna get.
yeah.
You know, I don't. They won't even care that you're dressing up because they know. Oh my God,
I'm gonna have
games,
fun.
We're gonna play.
Yeah.
We're gonna
yeah.
play. We're gonna read.
Exactly.
We're gonna write. We're gonna draw. We're gonna color. We're gonna. And people are giving me attention. Kids want attention.
Yeah.
If they don't get the attention, they run around and they
Yeah.
cause a disaster.
And
So
they're going around the stage bothering the DJ, pressing buttons
Oh.
that they're not supposed
I was
to
holding.
press.
I was holding my mouth. I was holding my breath.
I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it.
Kids pressing.
Yeah.
Like the poor DJ
DJ's
goes to the
equipment.
washroom,
Oh.
and yeah, he goes. The poor guy like had to go to the
No.
washroom.
I have parents putting them on my drums
What?
Oh.
Are you
to take a
no.
picture, and I'd be like,
Stop
I'm
it.
in the bathroom
Yeah.
or something, and I just hear do 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 do, and I'm like,
Who's touching my
Oh
phone?
no! Then the stress levels just do this.
oh, this stress level. They get a mouthful.
When they book
They're
you,
like,
you just give them my card.
Yeah.
Are there kids there?
Here.
You know what
This
I
is so
told-
they don't touch my
You're
drums.
welcome.
The last time a guy did that to me, I went up to him and I said, "Hey, show me your car so I could put my kids on top of your
Yeah.
car." And the
Yeah.
guy looked at me. I said, "It's my drum set.
Yeah,
dude.
it doesn't work.
Ask.
Yeah,
Just ask, and I'll sit with him,
yeah.
and I'll make sure he enjoys it."
Yeah.
But anyways, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but so you go all over, to, like everywhere, basically. You go everywhere.
Yeah,
Static?
Montreal
Okay.
and surrounding to
Okay.
a certain extent.
Okay.
There's a bit of a limit of like how far.
Realistically,
But
I was
Montreal
gonna
and
say.
surrounding, yeah.
Okay, and you've been, like you said, hotels, like Airbnbs.
Yeah.
Your traditional reception hall, so you've done it pretty much the whole scope.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I love that.
It's fun to like go to a new space, and that's another thing too, especially when we do the childcare room. I usually do a visit to
Yes,
see
I
the
was gonna
space,
say.
even if it's virtual,
Yeah.
to get an idea of number one, that it's a safe space for us
Of
to be
course,
taking
yeah,
care of
you
the
can't
kids.
have a wedding outside, and it's like, okay, where are the kids gonna be?
Yeah,
Like,
there's certain
These
things that
goodness-
have
yeah.
to be in place for them to book that service, because we need to be able to be in a closed
okay.
space. It needs to be able to be made child safe. So even
Okay.
if there might be outlets so that they can be covered if there's little ones. So certain
Right.
things
Okay.
that I visit the space or make sure I see the space, or it's a space I've been to,
Okay.
to have a good understanding of where the space is, how far the bathroom is, how big it is, and
Right.
kind of understand how we're going to be able to set up for the different kids, and how many doors. Sometimes there's a few
Right, okay.
entry points and stuff like that. So to really have a good idea of the space that we're going to be in with the
Okay.
kids when we're doing the childcare room. So it's fun to see new spaces and figure out how we're going to work in
Right.
that space with the kids, and even to transform it a little bit for the kids.
Oh, nice.
Because a lot of times it's fairly new, right? So a lot of times the kids walk in, they don't really know what to
It's true,
expect.
they're a little antsy. They're like,
Yeah,
what's going
so
on?
when
They're-
they see
yeah.
it set up for them to have fun, and they see things that they want to play with, and they see the arts
Okay.
and crafts and stuff,
Okay.
it's really cool to see like their faces light up a little bit and feel like, oh, there's something for me.
Right,
I
to
love
feel
space.
included.
I love
Yeah.
What would you say is the most popular item like that the kids always it's a hit for every kid pretty much that you've done, let's say, events with, like the most popular?
That's all, we always pull it out.
Yes, the go-to.
The whip. Then you'll have the adults coming in. I heard you have a whip here.
That was in our day. Our parents.
you have a whip
The
here.
spoon, the wooden spoon.
The wooden spoon, yeah.
The
Well, it's
wooden-
culturally, yeah.
I think it depends on the ages a little bit,
Okay.
because older kids are into have a bit different interests than
Right.
the young ones. The young ones, Play-Doh is popular. So we were talking about play a little bit earlier,
Yes.
but when we do the childcare room, it's easier to do things a little bit more messy because we're in that
Okay.
space that we can control this, what
a
we're
controlled
doing. You know,
environment,
if we want to bring smocks to do a little bit of painting, like
Okay.
we've been able to do it when we do the childcare room because we're in the room with them. The
Right.
bathroom's not far. We can do it one-on-one, whatever. So we figure out how to do it.
Okay.
But we usually bring a variety because, like, sometimes even to answer that question is kind of a question mark because
Yes.
kids are all different.
Right.
But there
okay.
are a few things that there's always going to be kids who are going to gravitate to and play with. Play-Doh, I would say, is one of them for the
Okay.
young ones.
Okay.
It's always going to be something that it's going to...
I wanna
It even
play.
helps them.
I like
yeah,
it's
it even help.
pretty
That's what I was gonna say.
cool.
It even helps them to like settle in and get comfortable,
Right.
right? Because it's a new space, new faces.
It's
So it's one
true.
of those things that like it's even tactile. So it kind of
Yes.
helps you calm down a little bit.
Right.
So the young ones tend to like the Play-Doh and the coloring.
Okay.
And if there's like a bouncy or something like that, that's
Okay.
that's
That's good to
The
know.
bouncy castle.
popular.
That sounds so
Yeah.
fun. Okay.
And I would say the Picasso tile. So like the magnet, it's kind of like Legos, but they're magnets, so they
Okay.
can build
Oh, that's
with.
cool. I never heard of. Okay. That
Yeah,
sounds so neat.
very
Okay.
very versatile.
Okay.
That's why we always bring it to and always pull it out because young kids can use them and build
Okay,
things, and then
yeah.
older kids can build more complex
Of
things
course.
and
Yeah.
ramps and
I
stuff.
was gonna
and
say
Nice.
that's so
yeah,
neat.
so it's something
Okay.
that like the young kids and the older kids can both
Okay.
get a lot of use out of. So we see them going for those a lot. And usually we have at least one arts and crafts activity that we're
Okay,
doing.
okay.
So if it's a kid's table and it's a wedding, obviously it's a mess-free craft.
Right.
But usually the craft is something the kids get excited about because I feel like it's like because they don't expect it to, right? So it's like, oh, I get to make
okay.
something they didn't know they were going to get to make something.
Okay, I like
and the
that,
idea
okay.
of like creating something that they get to keep
Right.
is really
okay.
cool. So they tend to like to do the crafts a lot too. And
Okay.
for the girls, beads,
I was
bracelets,
gonna
Oh,
say
nice.
necklaces,
beads, necklace. Okay.
Yeah, the girls really love that.
That's a hit. Okay, that's
Yeah,
neat.
and sometimes we do the glitter tattoos,
Ooh.
depending on the event.
Okay.
And that's a popular one too. When we pull
Okay.
it out, the kids
That sounds so
seem
cool.
to be into
Okay.
it because they pick what they wanna, which one they want, and you
okay.
put it on, and it takes like a minute or two,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's pretty
okay.
quick. So
That's
they tend to
pretty
really
nice.
like that
okay.
too.
I love it. So you have so much in your arsenal. Like you're ready for anything.
Yeah.
You come prepared no matter what. You have
Yeah.
everything, and
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, and we also find out too at the time that they book the age range of the kids.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
how many
Okay.
younger ones, how many older ones, and so we bring to match the age range. So if there's going to be
Mm-hmm.
a lot more younger kids, we bring more, toys, cars, trucks,
Right.
the bigger blocks and
Mm-hmm.
things like that the younger kids are going to enjoy. And if there's going to be a mix, then we bring a mix. If there's going to be more older kids, then we'll bring like more crafts, more like
Right.
games to play with
Okay.
them, board games for them to play together
okay.
and stuff like
Love
that.
that.
So yeah, it really helps when we get the age range of the kids and have an idea of the ages, so that we kind of customize what we're going to bring based on the ages, so that we make sure it's things that they're actually going to be interested in.
I have a
Yeah.
$1 million question here. Special needs kids.
Yes.
I was
good
gonna ask
question.
that. That
yes.
was my question.
You
Yeah.
read our mind.
I get into it. No, you know what? Because
Because there are, yeah.
well, no,
Yeah.
of course there are, but besides that, like it's a thing. Like like autism is something that loud noises, lots of people.
Yeah.
You're not heading into a and the parents know that,
Yeah.
and they're petrified of something like that. They
Yeah.
don't want their kid. It's not the kid's fault.
Yeah.
Loud noises and a lot of people is like a chalkboard for hours to,
Yeah.
Right.
to someone. Like that's the way their brain is wired. And
Yeah.
and so, do you have people specialized
I
with special
do.
needs? Do you take care of if there's special needs? Like,
Yes, it depends on what their needs are.
Yeah.
If we are able to accommodate, I do have some animators who have worked with children with special needs. I have worked with a few myself, so I'm not as experienced with all types of
depending on
special
Right,
needs. So
okay.
it depends on the needs. And if we can accommodate, for sure we accommodate. And we also work with the parents, right? So
Of course.
they'll let us know, what the child needs, what helps in certain situations.
Okay.
Sure.
And then we recommend that they kind of bring their arsenal that we can use too. So if
Absolutely.
it's a child who's sensitive
Smart.
to like loud noises and things, to bring their headphones.
Yeah.
If they get overwhelmed, okay, what helps when they're overwhelmed? So if it's a certain, blanket or stuffed animal, or they need to like find a quiet corner,
'Cause it's
then
worth
the parents
gold.
let us know. Yeah, and we try to have that be possible to make them as comfortable as possible. So yeah, we try to work when the parents let us know, because sometimes,
Of course.
if we're doing just a kids table at a wedding, we're not necessarily going to have that
Well,
information.
of course,
Right,
yeah.
of course,
Yeah,
yeah.
but the parents are around anyway, so they'll,
Because like
see
at a
what
wedding,
the child needs.
I'm using weddings as an example.
yeah.
Like if it's my cousin and my child is special needs, I'm dreading that wedding. I'm dreading that because I know you know what it is to
Yeah.
be around the kid, and if he has
Right.
a poor kid has a whatever, anything
Yeah.
that happens, an outburst, an outcry of something, it's in front of all the people you're trying to, it's knowing that there's someone that can let you have a couple of hours of peace.
Yes.
Right.
It's also peace on the parents because they deal with it day in, day out.
Yes.
So
And they really need that.
they
break.
need that little.
Yeah.
It helps immensely. So
Yeah.
it's like it's worth gold. Like
Yeah.
knowing
I was
that
gonna
that's a
say.
possibility is like
Yeah.
wow.
And sometimes I recommend as well, if it's a child with special needs, and if it would really be helpful to have a person like specifically designated to be with that child, to work with that child, then I'll recommend that too. So whatever service that we're providing, if they want to like book a sitter that will be
Extra.
kind of like a shadow with that
Oh,
child.
okay.
How do you hire
So-
people? Like your vetting process must be pretty rigorous. Like how do you must hire?
Well,
tons of-
yeah, I check references, and so that's part of the process as well. So for when they've worked with special needs children, then I have that information. And and with the assistance of the parents, that really helps too.
Yeah, of
So even if we're not necessarily as experienced with a child with those particular needs, we work with the parents to understand, okay, what their needs are,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
like how to function throughout the evening and what will
Of
help.
course.
And like we're always a phone call away, they're always a phone call away.
Love
We
that.
maintain communication as well,
Absolutely.
so they can
Oh,
check in on
perfect.
them, and so that we can, even if we have a question, instead of like going to see the parent,
Oh,
which
nice.
Gonna say, so
might
walking
be,
in the room, yeah.
yeah, which might cause some more separation anxiety, we can just like send them a message and they can
Smart.
let us know. So we try as many of the tricks as possible to like help those parents be able to enjoy
Right.
the event
The
too,
event.
and
Yeah.
get a break too, just like everyone else wants to,
Yeah.
have a break, have a good time, enjoy themselves, and know that their child, their children is taken care
Yeah.
of. And so, we try to put as many things in place to be able to make that child feel comfortable and meet their needs as best as we can, and with the space provided. Because sometimes having a space where that child can like have that quiet room helps a lot too. It's not always possible, but if that's something that helps, then we try to see if that's possible, that there's a space where, okay, when they need to like get away from all the noise and the music and the crowd, that the sitter can go with them into that room and just like, read some stories or something.
Oh, that's nice.
So
Amazing.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
sweet.
that's good.
I love that.
So have you ever had a situation where there was, okay, first of all, before that, what is your maximum number of children
Yes.
and how many of sitters per child, let's say, or per group, let's
Good
say?
question. That's a good question. I like
Yeah.
that one.
So the number of animators per children depends on the service. So for example, the kids table, the kids corner service, where it's basically entertainment. So the kids are in the same space with the families and the parents. That ratio is higher because we're not responsible for the children. So we're just providing a play area that the kids drop in, come in and out as they want. And it's in the same space most of the time
Right.
as the party, as the reception. So we have more kids per animator. So up to 8 or 10 kids for the kids table, and the animator's there to entertain the kids,
course.
but the kids
Okay.
go back and forth to their parents,
As
the
much
party.
as they want. Okay.
Yeah. When we do the babysitting, so hotel babysitting, Airbnb, wedding reception babysitting for a couple of kids, it's usually one sitter to up to 3 kids.
Okay.
And that depends on the age. So if, for example, it's a baby, then it's 1-to-1. So one sitter for a
course.
baby. If it's a toddler, depends on the age, that the ratio would be smaller. And we
Okay.
might have to add another sitter. So it really depends on the ages. And with the childcare room, the ratio is a little bit similar, but a little bit higher because we're in an enclosed space.
Right.
So it's easier for us to, have control of the room,
course.
see where all the kids are, be able to, take care of the kids properly and know that everybody's okay.
Right.
So when we have the childcare room for babies, it's the same 1-to-1 because they need that 1-to-1. And toddlers and younger children, it's 1 to 2 or 3.
Okay.
And then as they get older, up to usually preschool age, so like 4, 5, it's 1 to 5.
Okay.
And older kids older than that, it's 1 to 8 or 10. So if it's a mix, then we usually do kind of an in-between, besides the babies, which is always 1-to-1.
Right.
So that's how we go about it
I like
with
that.
the ages. So the younger the children are, the higher the ratio. So the
Okay.
more sitters than we need for 2-3 kids. As they get older, we have larger groups that one person can manage because they're more independent. They can find the activities they want to do themselves. Usually the separation is easier. They're not going to need
Right.
arms as much. Although sometimes you'd be surprised because it's a new situation,
I
it's
was
new
gonna
faces.
say, yeah.
Sometimes older kids have a hard time too, but generally more with younger kids, right? When their parents are leaving the room, they need some comfort
Right.
and
Yeah.
reassurance to be able to
Question.
settle in.
I have a question. How much time ideally should a couple book you? Like, what's the ideal
That's a good
time
question,
frame?
too, yeah.
Like,
Good
realistic.
question.
Like,
Yeah.
I remember you were mentioning not too last minute because you might be booked up or you might not have time to do the venue tour and
The
prep
prep and-
and
yeah.
because the prep, like you said, takes it's the biggest part, right? You have to prep, make sure everything's safe for the kids.
Yeah.
Kids, what type of kids, how old, the activities. It takes a lot of time, rightfully. So,
Yeah.
so ideally, would it be as soon as they book the venue to call you? Or like before, because you're saying some venues can't accommodate or it's tricky. So would it
Yeah.
be best that they book you and then they book the venue? Like what's the the most ideal situation when it comes to that?
The ideal situation would be if they have a good idea of what they want,
Okay.
and then that would determine if it even matters what the venue is. So, for
okay.
example, if they really want to have a few hours of no kids at the wedding, then they're really going to need a separate room
Right.
that we can take care of the kids in. So then that's going to determine which venue,
I was gonna
a
say,
question
yeah.
that they're going to ask the venue,
Right.
and maybe a priority for them that the venue does have a space, a bridal suite that's big enough, an extra room,
Right.
Yeah.
So, or the
somewhere that
hotel
we
has
can-
another room that they
Yeah,
could
or the
give
hotel
just
has-
to have a room,
yeah,
a spare
or
room.
even one of because a lot of times the couples or one of the family members whose kids we will be taking care
Right.
of has their room at the hotel,
Oh, very-
so we
yeah.
can use that room
I was
to
gonna
take
say,
care
yeah.
of the kids. So that's a possibility too. So if they really know that they want to have that option of
Mm-hmm.
having the childcare room, then they're really going to need a room.
Right. Okay.
So then that will be a factor in like choosing the venue
The
and making sure
location
that that's something that's
could
available.
accommodate
Yeah.
to their needs.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if it's not as much of a priority that like childcare is there, like if they don't mind if it's a family friendly, a child friendly
Mm-hmm.
wedding, and they don't mind if it's just a kid space where the kids can play,
Right.
then most venues are not a problem as long
Right.
as there's enough space
You
for
can
us to have a table to set
okay.
up. For the
Makes
kids,
sense.
and even a second table if they're going to have their meal
Right.
together,
To have
like
to
near the
eat
kids'
together,
table.
yeah.
Yeah, depending if they want to do that, because not
Okay.
all couples. Sometimes the kids eat with their parents anyway.
Huh, okay. I thought it'd be they eat together. Okay, interesting. Okay.
Sometimes they just
Cool.
have the play area, and then when it's
Okay.
time to eat, the kids go eat with
Just
their parents,
goes-
and then
okay,
they just come see
back.
us
Huh.
10 minutes later because
Okay,
they didn't even eat.
I was gonna say they run quick, or not even because they're having so much fun
Sometimes,
and
yeah.
they're go.
Yeah, and a lot of times at weddings, like kids are so excited they don't eat much
Anyway,
anyway. I
it's
find.
true. It's
Yeah.
very
It's a long
true,
day
yeah.
for them too.
It's
Yeah,
a
it's
lot,
a long day.
especially if the kid's part of the wedding party, like if they're a ring bearer or flower girl or someone.
long day.
They're up and early, like 8 o'clock, ready, pictures. They're part of it. So the poor kid wants to be a kid that day, not just a stand-in because it's true.
Yeah,
it's
a long
true.
day.
Yeah, it is.
So I would say, if that's the case and they really want to have that option, it's really important to them, which a lot of the times couples who have young kids, that's important because it helps them too. It gives them a
Right.
few hours that they know the kids are having fun, they're
Exactly,
playing,
yeah.
and we don't have to worry about who's watching our little ones.
Yeah, it's true.
So if that's a priority for them, if they're more flexible in terms of we just want to have something for the kids, then pretty much any venue, as long as there's, like I said, a space that we can
safer
set up,
in front,
the
okay.
kids can be a part of the reception and still have a space that they can come and play when they want to play.
Afterwards. I love that.
Yeah, so I would say in that case, the earlier the better always,
Right.
to make sure for your date.
Right.
But anywhere up to it's usually ideal if it's at least 3 months before that you at
okay.
least reach out to reserve your date. And even
Yes.
if you want to wait for your confirmations to know
Right.
exactly how many kids, at least you'll be able to have
your
something for your
right.
kids that are
Okay.
there. So I
3
would say that.
months
Yeah.
at least. Okay.
Yeah. And earlier the better, because
Well-
summertime is like a really
So
busy
now
time.
is like the peak. Well, it's wedding
peak
season,
now. This
but
is what
starting
we're in
to
it
get
now.
busy.
it's
yeah.
starting to get busy for you. I'm assuming as well. So
It's starting to get busy.
Okay.
We're one of the services, like I was telling you before, that's kind of one of the last services because like couples like to wait and see, okay, how many kids do we
Right.
have really, and what do we want to do
right,
for the kids?
Of course.
So it starts to get busy, but not as early as probably other vendors in terms
Okay.
of like getting booked for the dates.
Okay. Okay.
But then it like just creeps up fast.
and then before you know it, you're like, and
Yeah.
you're already there.
Do you have a wild wedding story that you can
Yes.
share with us? Something crazy that happened, or something funny, or?
Well, I have I have a story that I actually heard. I don't think anything like super wild happened with us because we're professional. Nothing goes wrong ever. No, there's always moments and stuff, but nothing like too crazy. But I just, you hear, because the service that we do, like we've been talking about, you know what I mean? It helps with the kids getting their energy out.
Right.
They're not running
Sure,
around.
yeah.
They're not
Right.
throwing things. So I've,
But like
you know.
sometimes a father could come get his kid and he's completely hammered because he had the option of like not watching the kids.
Oh
Yeah.
my
That's
God.
true. We haven't had too much of that either. Like the
Okay.
parents come, they're a little happier.
Okay. I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
they're they're a little, but not too. They're not falling
Okay.
over or anything.
Damn.
Not you,
But
Danny.
I did have a planner tell me
Oh.
one time. So we were doing a wedding, taking care of the kids, and the planner was just talking, and she was like, "Oh, this is so great." She's like, I did a wedding. I think it was not long before or something.
Okay.
And she was like, at the venue there was a pool table.
Oh no.
And she was
Oh,
like,
no.
the kids were throwing the pool balls. Yeah.
Stop.
So she was like,
Oh my
if I would
gosh.
have known about
They're
you,
throwing the pool
Oh my
balls.
God.
you would have saved the pool table and the pool balls.
Oh
so
my
yeah,
gosh.
so
Oh
that
my
was a
God.
crazy one that I was
I
like,
could just
oh.
imagine the kids. Oh my God. I'd be,
Zinging at each other.
I'd be
Yeah.
terrified. I'd be like in the corner shielding
Yeah,
my.
those things they're gonna hurt. If
Yeah,
they
they're
hit
gonna
you.
leave a mark.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those are the little things too that even couples and like you might not think about
Right.
when you're in the space and you're just not thinking about the things that the kids can
Right.
get into
It's
to
true,
like say,
yeah.
okay, let's take the pool balls out of
Uh-huh.
here.
Away.
Out of
That's
here.
Just in case.
Just
yeah.
in case,
It's
yeah.
one of those things you might not think about until they're throwing them.
They're throwing
Yeah.
the pool balls
Somebody
at
broke a
you.
window.
Yeah.
goes the
And then
window.
someone has to pay for that broken
Yeah.
window.
Oops.
So yeah.
Oopsie daisy. Yeah.
It's all fun until it's not fun.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
have seen like kids running around and the waiter with like
Oh yeah.
20 dishes.
Oh yeah, I
Crazy.
believe you.
I've seen it numerous times where a kid runs it. Actually, I have a funny story. It wasn't funny when I was part of it, but I play in a band, right? So
Yes.
we were we played our first set
Uh-oh.
and dinner, nice, and now we're having dinner. So we all go to the table, and we were at, I'll never forget, Plaza Volare on Kidtabulous, and it was a big wedding. It was like 400 people. As we're having dinner, all of a sudden, we hear like this loud, like when I say feedback, but to the 100th degree, like, and we look, and there's just a kid on the equalizer, just moving, which that equalizer, all those buttons, it's taken years to get to perfect.
Oh no!
And he just like, because they're tuned to a room, and he was just like going at it. And,
oh my god!
oh my sound man ran there.
Yeah.
And, we can stop the sound,
Right.
because we just turn off the mixer.
Yeah.
But then we still had to play. So the
So you have to
sound all of a
readjust
sudden
everything.
is
Was
like
off,
like
yeah.
way off. Like
Oh god!
it was horrible.
That's
but
horrible.
anyways, yeah.
That's when you chase the parents.
Yeah, you look.
And that's the thing too, because the parents probably just like sat down for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
next thing you know,
Your
the
kid's
kid
gone,
is on
yeah.
the equalizer.
Thankfully, I never had a crazy wedding with. Usually, the kids are doing I do it well
Well-be.
for now, but to watch that change, you know.
You just
but
jinxed yourself.
I just jinxed
Yeah.
myself, but knock on wood, like so far I could say yes, they're a bit wilder running around, but not to the degree playing with the equalizer or breaking something or. Well, besides the kid in the DJ booth pressing the buttons, but as bad as it could get.
Yeah.
Some like I heard stories too. You hear through the grapevine,
Yeah.
but for me, luckily, the kids are like maybe 2 or 3 kids at a wedding, not,
A big
besides
group.
that wedding, that amount of
20
kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was something. And
That's
I
brutal.
always tell them, get a sitter, hire a service like you.
Yeah.
You need it until, as I say, you don't think about it right now, but when it gets closer, they might not be available for you or not offer,
Yeah.
not be able to offer.
Especially when it's that
yeah.
many kids.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
gonna make a
It was
difference to
something,
have
yeah.
something for
Quick
them.
question is
Yeah.
because I've never heard of this, like this type of service for
Yeah.
events.
Yeah.
Is there competition? Like, or to me, you're
you're the only one I know.
Only
Yeah.
me. No.
Yeah.
So when I started,
Mm-hmm.
there were a few, maybe like 2 or 3 companies that
Okay.
had started to do it.
Okay.
And now some of them are not anymore.
Okay.
They're doing adjacent
Other
different types
things.
of things.
Okay.
Now I think there's maybe 1 or 2 that I've seen doing it.
Similar.
Okay.
Not as good, but similar.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
almost
They're
We're almost there.
trying to learn,
They're
but
trying
don't
to
have
learn.
Play-Doh.
Yeah. They don't have
They
the
don't
good
have the Play-Doh and the
Play-Doh.
glue.
The good-
but honestly, like the services that I offer, it's been fine tuned, right? So
Right, like
even the
anything, yeah.
companies that offer the childcare, they don't have the variety of services for the different types of
Okay,
events. I
gotcha.
find that I've seen for
The
different types of
options, and
events.
they could
Okay,
pick
yeah,
and
if you don't
choose,
have
yeah.
a room available, you can still have something for the kids.
Right.
And if you just have a couple of kids, you can still have a sitter. If you just want to give them something to play with at the table, you can still have
Right.
a kids box. So I find the services that I offer, the other companies don't offer all of those
Right, because
options.
you fine-tuned it and you perfected your craft.
Yes,
All with
and
trial
seeing,
and error.
different
what works,
things that
yeah.
could work for different situations.
I like that.
And one of the companies, they're more based further in Quebec, so
Okay.
I don't think they do as many events in Montreal
Okay.
as like around Quebec.
Okay.
Whereas
can
I
you
don't
handle
go
multiple?
as far.
Can you handle multiple in a night?
Multiple events?
Multiple events.
Yeah, depending how many kids and depending which service.
Wow.
So,
Okay. Wow.
That's hats
Yeah.
off because
Yeah.
so
That's-
depends how
That's
many
awesome.
kids.
Okay, I
That's
love
very
that.
good.
Yeah.
So thank you so much
It was so
because
fun.
we are actually
Yes.
at the end.
Yes, you
Oh,
made it.
wow.
The
Yeah,
first.
we made it
That
to the
flew
end.
by.
That flew by. Look, we didn't even need a
Yeah.
sitter or anything. We just did it
were
on our own.
I love what you offered. To be honest, as a planner, it's reassuring
Yeah.
that it exists. Because
Yes.
I have, like I said, things I've seen and heard scare me a little bit. Sometimes I'm like, uh-oh. And I'm like, I hope that doesn't happen to me at my wedding. Like, when I planned, I don't want to be that planner that came unprepared, That you-
Exactly.
but I'm happy it exists a service out there for the parents
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
kids or a bride and groom planning a wedding that they want the kids there, let's just say,
But we have to know where to find this service.
Yes.
So let us know where we can find you.
Where can we find you?
So you can find us on the website.
Yes.
So www.kidtabulous.com. I'm sure it'll be
Yeah, it'll
posted
be there.
below or
It'll be
whatever.
somewhere. Stefano, he'll put it.
Yeah, we're on Instagram at Truly Kidtabulous, and on
okay.
Instagram you see more up to date, like recent events and
Okay,
stuff.
so
The
you
website
post-
there's
okay.
some pictures of some events, but the Instagram is more
Frequent in what you're
yeah,
up to,
you
where
see
you're
more
at. Okay.
recently what we're up to. And yeah, email if ever anyone has any questions, wants to get an idea of what might
Right.
work for their event. Not sure if they even want to have kids or
Okay.
what's possible. They can definitely reach out by email as
I
well.
love that.
And the email address is info@kidtabulous.com.
I love that.
Nice.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Me too.
Well, mine is 21 come July, so I'm very much past
I don't have
that.
kids just yet.
So there you go. There you go. Now, I have one final question though. For
Yes.
the event, is it, do you also include the ceremony or the
Yes.
morning? Or do you just strictly start
That's a
at the
good one, yeah.
reception?
If they want. So it depends if they feel it's necessary.
Okay.
And sometimes it's different services throughout the day. So for
Oh,
example,
okay.
for the ceremony, they might want the childcare room for the ceremony so that the little
Kids aren't
ones can
screaming.
yeah, they're not screaming through the ceremony. And then maybe at the reception they just want a kids table for a few hours
Okay.
so the kids can play but still be a part of
Okay,
the
so-
party.
So it's
So
really
it's-
what they
it's-
need.
yeah, it's
really
definitely
pick and
possible.
choose. You can mix and match based on what their needs are realistically.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that how
So-
flexible it is
Yeah.
for the couples.
Exactly.
You know?
That's why it's really good for. I really try to have like a little bit of a consult call
Yes,
with the
of course,
couples or
yeah.
with the planner, because sometimes they think they know what they want or what's
And then
going to
when
work.
they realize,
yeah, and then
they're
you
like,
have a
"Oh, yeah."
conversation and you can kind of guide them to like so that what they really want to happen,
Okay.
they can choose the right option
The
for
right pick what's
yeah
needed.
for how
Makes
that's
sense.
going to work.
Yeah.
Definitely makes sense. That's
It's
it.
like
And
the-
it allows you that freedom.
Yeah, that
You know what I
freedom.
mean?
At the end of the night, you know you're at peace. Your kids are safe. They're having a good time. The planner's not worried about the kids. You know, no, everyone knows the kids are well taken care of. You know,
Exactly.
and
exactly.
and personally said they have a right to be there too. They're just doing their thing. You
Yes.
know.
And
So-
if they're there, they should have fun too. And their parents should have
Yeah,
fun too.
everyone should have fun. At the end of the day, I think that's what matters the most.
I think the idea of bringing their pajamas, that's
Yes.
the cutest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, little
And
pajama
it,
night.
it makes a difference too, because then like it's a whole thing if you have to like get home and get them out of the car
Forget,
and then
yeah.
you have
You
to
have
put
to
their
change
pajamas
them.
on.
True,
No, I'll just
They're
like put them in
sleeping.
bed. Okay, as you are.
Yeah.
Good night.
But in there like the tucks and everything,
Yeah,
you know,
Exactly,
it's like not as
exactly.
comfortable.
You want your
So
PJs, their onesie. You know?
Yeah.
yeah.
So cute.
So even for parents, like just like the couples, like whatever option you want to do is possible. It's just about planning, like
Yeah.
little things you can
Fine-tune,
do
yeah.
that will make it go smoothly, whether it's kids at the wedding or no kids at the wedding or, you know, a few kids.
Right.
As long as you kind of plan
Ahead.
plan ahead, it can be not a disaster story. It can be fun. Everybody can have a good time.
That's it.
Yeah, the kids
I love
can
that.
play and the parents can have a drink and have their
Laugh.
meal.
Or 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
and
it.
Fun for everyone.
So thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so
for
much.
joining
having
us.
me.
That's it.
I think we're good. So that's it for this episode.
Oh
It was
my-
very insightful, and we had, like always on Wedding Chimes on Val, we always have a good time,
Yes.
no matter what. So
We
thanks.
not only have advice on Wedding Chimes with Val, we have solutions.
Yes,
Yes,
we have
that's it.
solutions.
Not
for
only
your
just
children.
advice, but solutions.
We come with
Absolutely.
solutions too
We're your one-stop shop
for your wedding.
for your children, for your
Wedding,
wedding,
you name
for
it.
your food, for your venue. We can go on.
We can go on.
That's
and
another
on.
podcast. So thanks so much. Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much. Thanks so that. Thank you all. We'll just condense it. Thank you all.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. See you the next time.
Episode. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.